Well, just before the launch, I am very pleased to be with you, and I am very pleased that you are passionate enough to listen to some of the considerations that I will share with you on the global challenges and the blockchain. You have been talking about the blockchain and Web3 since yesterday. Lots of details, lots of technologies, lots of good endeavors, entrepreneurship ideas, projects, and success stories have been shared with you. This is why I will try to go around the subject a little bit, to see how the new blockchain technologies, how the developing Web3 can fit to the ecosystem in which we are as the business, as the global village people, but also certainly how it can change it, how it can go beyond it, or how it can even create an unrelated system of thought and progress. I will just share with you some of the important factors of analysis, because when you are developing a business, we all have to take into account the issues which are determining the global challenges. And we are in an era after the pandemic, after Russia and invasion of Ukraine, after people around the world trying to be more vocal in everywhere in democracies, we need to try to see a reality in which we are in the universe in a period where we can look really forward, and we can really maybe jump a lot in the space-time continuum to see our future, to design our future in a better way, and trying to take a distance to what we do, trying to see what we do a little bit from outside is always helpful. It's always helpful to see the world in which we are and to try to understand the global challenges so that our business plans are more reliable, so that they address the problems, so they do not address the problems, but they create new opportunities. You don't necessarily need to address a problem to be successful in business. And so that we can still make good for the planet and its own civilizational problems, civilizational issues. It's about globalization. Globalization, which is about mobility in every sphere of life, mobility of goods, services, ideas, mobility of capital, money, mobility of viruses, biological viruses, digital viruses, financial viruses, disinformation virus, CO2 virus. So it's about mobility in which we are, and mobility is also about people. People's mobility is a determining factor when you are trying to design a business plan, when you are trying to get a financing scheme. We need to take into account that people also are mobile in space-time continuum on this planet. And the people are related with the country structures, and country structures are related with legal orders, political orders, economic orders. So it still matters. Whether we are in Web 1, Web 2, or Web 3, it still matters. And it still matters that this demographic structure here, as you see, the darker colors are the societies with longest living people, spending more money and living longer to spend that money in different ways. And then you have the lighter blue window of opportunity belt, where the people are starting to become autonomous or independent economic actors. And then the lighter color, especially Africa, the youngest part of the planet, so very mobile throughout this century, becoming more and more populous and important. And this is also about trade, and this is still a trade world in which we are, a physical trade world, where the transatlantic relationship is important, where China is important, where Europe is important, and internal market issues are important. Look just at the mobility of airlines in the United States. Single market matters. Single market means simple legislation applied to everybody in the same way, consumer protection rights, technological issues, cyber security issues, and so on. So it's another factor of analysis, the physical market's importance. And the mobility shows that very well. This is about China, for example. China's airlines are more concentrated in the eastern part of the country. But this was not even like this. Just check the train lines, high-speed train lines. Most of them, they have been inexistent only a couple of decades ago. And today, it's like an important web of, well, probably the most, not probably, the world's most important web of high-speed train lines are in China. About more or less, probably 10 times more than the country which follows it, Spain, France, Germany, United States. And it's also about, of course, the internet, the Web 2's densities, and reflecting more or less, again, the same global picture. Transatlantic relationship, East Asia, so whatever is between the European Union and United States is still very important, and then East Asia is growing. And when I'm saying East Asia, countries of East Asia like Japan, South Korea, also Australia, New Zealand, they belong to the broader West because they share more or less the same common denominators of rule of law, same more or less, and free market economy with autonomous regulatory instances and some basic social progress ideals. And it's, again, still, where we are, the world of social media, with all tools, tools for analysis for business, but also marketing and also finance. We can go through Twitter, I hope so, in the next years, to analyze different marketing and consumer behaviors, but also financial flows. Well, are we still here? Yes, we are still here. Are we going to stop here? No. This is what we have been all listening since yesterday in this conference and elsewhere. We will not stop here. This will become as well a picture of the past, a relic of the past. And this will become also a historical graphic very soon. This is what we have been hearing now. This is what we have been listening to for many years. But there is still a physical reality. And there, Web3 is as well much dependent on it. This is a terabit era with tangible, concrete still connectivity lines, which are part of the geostrategy, which are part of the war tools. Well, in this interconnectivity, we should also make sure that we are not yet considering ourselves as part of the single homogeneous global village. Social media landscape, for example, tells us that it's still a divided world. Countries having difficulty to access to internet or slowing down, especially during electoral times, is still an important reality. And the tech divide is a geostrategic reality as well, not only technical divide, but the development goals are very important. People not having access to electricity is an important reality of today. Not paying their paying electricity bills, but maybe charging their phones in a single spot in every village. As it comes to the trade and the physical trade, there is an important shift towards China. This is for sure. For those countries which had the United States as a main partner compared with China, there is a total shift. But there is another reality. The European Union, and it will be very important for the development of everything related to Web3, European Union is still the standard setter of this world. Having the highest number of agreements with the rest of the world, and of course, imposing its standards, its legislation in digital services, digital finance, cyber security, privacy issues, data management issues. The powerhouse of standards and legislation will continue to be European Union in the foreseeable future. Whereas in the League of the Innovative Countries, there is no a winner, and it is changing every year it depends on how you measure it, but it gives us an idea. It is changing every year. There is not a winner here. On the other hand, what will happen in military terms, in terms of wars, will continue to influence all of us, and will continue to influence all our business plans. So we cannot we cannot act as if this reality does not exist. Another reality will continue to be, again, on a very tangible and non-Web 2 or 3 dimension, access to the natural resources of these planets. And it will be, and it will matter, and it will be a factor in every business plan, again, and not only on the underneath, of course, our planet's surface, but also outside the surface. There is the competition, and this competition and the use of these satellites, whether they are military or non-military, whether they are linked with issues of environment or security or telecommunications or, well, logistics. This is an important game changer, as well as it is, of course, the unavoidable part of every business plan, the way the world is exposed to climate change. And depending on countries, the challenges are different in quantity and in quality. Today's solution is, of course, looks like, and the evolution points out to the renewables, to solar and wind, but you'll never know. We all know that there are more choices, and there will be more choices for this. And the microchip industry, in this respect, will continue to be very important. Who is producing them? But don't be sure that this is not only the reality. When you go into what Hong Kong or Taiwan or China or USA are producing as microchip, some of the inputs, some of the ingredients are produced exclusively sometimes by other countries, like Germany, like Netherlands. But this is important, and this is important also to finance that. And here we can still say that it's a US world for the global finance, international finance, for big businesses as it is for the startups. And the freedom also matters. You know? The countries where you have democracy, where rule of law, freedoms are by definition better for entrepreneurship, for creativity, innovation, for social responsibility networks, for all that. It is still a leagued world, like it was in the Roman Empire time. The roads of Roman Empire, Roman roads were like part of a subway system, linking not only cities, but also trade, and also the legal space, the regulations, the standards which were applied to the life. Today, we are in an urban world where the cities are linked to each other, where the smart city projects are more than what can be described by Wikipedia as smart city. It is almost all about life. And when there are new plans beyond the fourth industrial revolution to address the problems of the society, we are now in search of a better society. It's not only about 4.0 version of so-called industrial revolution and its cycles and implications for the company's economy, democracy, and the society, but it is a new search going beyond with technologies of artificial intelligence and game changers like 5G and 6G later on. And the company landscape follows it. And this is still also a landscape. I will go a little bit more into the details. We are, okay, all of them are now, they have their own R&Ds for metaverse. Countries, they have their own plans for their cryptocurrencies. But this is a graph of Web 2, not yet Web 3. So it has to change, and it will change. And we know that in this landscape of startups, in this landscape of drones, in this retail marketing, 4.0 vendors in Turkey, in India, in Egypt, in Germany, in Netherlands, the or outside the planet, outside the atmosphere, this landscape, this ecosystem is about to change as well. And among the newcomers, there are not only companies which are new, or to whom we have been listening to, but there are also and more new companies where the blockchain is addressing challenges and problems, but also maybe, probably, and hopefully the challenges of the democracy, the challenges of our political landscape, challenges of the way the citizens are, and I've been sharing a lot about that in Twitter if you want, the way the citizens also will be involved in decision-making, in impact analysis of the decisions on their lives, on the way the decentralized systems make sure that we are in a better democracy, less subject to disinformation and the manipulation of the information. Here is a big challenge probably for Web3, because if it is successful in this, in being instrumental in developing a new democracy, new decision-making systems, then the future is wide open, and then the real challenge to make this planet a better one will be the main task for all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you.